So about the future of government, I think this summit has been great in sort of highlighting the fact that we are in a world of incredible rapid change, and that requires governments to adapt and be able to respond to these crises as well as future challenges, because we are in a multiple crisis situation today with COVID, climate, as well as conflict. So how do governments better prepare themselves to make sure that they can prepare and respond to crisis as well as the future challenges? So I think there are probably three main ways that we think we should be looking at. First is trust, because building trust between government and their people is very much key. And we learned this in the pandemic, how much the trust in government helps you to actually craft policies that will address the pandemic. And we need to rebuild the trust between the government and citizens. And this is about leadership, this is about communication, this is about transparency and openness by the government. Second is the role of technology. I think that what happened during COVID was we saw the importance of data and digitization to help provide information that can allow governments to respond and in an inclusive way and be able to monitor what they do and also see whether what they're doing is effective or not, and change course. You will, I think the experience of the COVID was incredible in that way. So I think digitization and using digital will help. Digital technology will help governments be more transparent, be more effective, be more efficient in delivering public services to their citizens. But we must also remember that we still have a digital divide. 2.9 billion people are still not online, so we have to address that if we want inclusive development. And I think we also need to think about other uses of technology, whether it's AI or machine learning, to deliver better for the government. And then finally, we need strong institutions that can also deliver the types of government services that we need. And we need to be able to ensure that governments can manage risks, anticipate risks, be able to forecast and anticipate future shocks, including the next pandemic, the ongoing climate crisis, and potential future financial or macro risks. So governments need to anticipate and manage risk. They need to have systems that will help them prevent, prepare, and respond, whether it's the macro financial, whether it's the strengthening health systems and surveillance systems, or most importantly on adaptation, disaster risk management, and protecting natural resources. And these are, I think, these three elements will make for the future of government, and the World Bank Group is working with many governments and hopefully be able to support the UAE's vision and initiative for the future of government, because we have to reimagine governments. Oh, really very good. I think we've seen over the years how it's grown. We have worked with the UAE on many of its really incredible reforms, starting from the competitiveness and investment climate, and then for gender. We are working a lot with the UAE for their gender reform agenda, which I must say has been amazing progress just in a very short period of time. And UAE, I think, has been actually quite a model for gender improvements on the gender front. And we're also working with the Ministry of Finance on public expenditure reviews and making sure the public expenditure is going to be really, what you are spending is going to be effective, including in education. We are also going to be working with the Education Ministry, and we hope that we can, moving forward, work with the UAE government on its future vision about diversification of the UAE economy and the role of UAE in the region. We are also working, say, on regional integration initiatives, such as the Pan-Arab Electric Market Initiative, which I think is a great initiative in terms of economic benefits for the region, reducing the cost, as well as the climate benefits that it can really provide. And in today's situation, provide the diversification of the sources of energy that will be needed by Africa and by even Europe, right? So I think that's another initiative that we are working with the UAE that we think is going to be really great, especially going into the COP28 that you will be hosting next year. So we also look forward to working on the climate and development agenda with the UAE.